Welcome to the channel. With new updates, the battleground becomes more and more demanding. For this reason, we are forced to constantly adapt our build to the prevailing game rules, and these rules are quite simple. For the vast majority of opponents, we have a small time window during which we can be harmful. Therefore, we only have two choices: go for full damage or solid crowd control. And in the case of low resonance, you cannot do enough damage. Even if it looks like you can, then there is always someone who's gonna make higher. You simply cannot argue with it. That's why in this episode I will show you how to build and play your wizard with enormous control. So don't forget to leave a tactical like, and let's get started. First of all, it is worth mentioning that this configuration requires some experience and intuition. Some skills may seem difficult to master at first, but it's worth giving it a try, because it pays off a lot once we get used to them. I will also present alternatives so everyone can decide which one is better. Nevertheless, the necessary core is Magic Missile and Teleport. Magic Missile, along with the essence of the main hand, receives an additional bonus to damage. Teleport is necessary to maintain maximum mobility. Another core ability is Arcane Wind. Along with the new essence of the main hand, it is the perfect solution for repositioning your opponents. With a little practice, you'll realize that with this skill you can not only pull everyone in, but also push your opponents away from you. It all depends where you use it. For Arcane Wind, we pick additional bonus from offhands, freezing chilled opponents, which will be our secondary crowd control, and obviously additional charge. I use Meteorite for the chilling effect and decent damage, along with Leg's essence. It is now a snowstorm that, along with the Arcane Wind, freezes enemies in a quite good area, a great solution to at least stop your opponents from pushing the idol. And basically the most important and leading skill, Ray of Frost. And here many people may have difficulty using it, because not only you have to aim it, but the skill also has a slight delay. But as I said, with a bit of practice, this skill pays off a lot. So with the essence of armor, we now have two charges. Each of them has a relatively small cooldown and immediately freezes enemies for 3 seconds. Thus, you completely disable opponents from combat. What's more, when you catch a Crusader, Barbarian, or Blood Knight, when they are vulnerable to damage, then they most likely won't be able to activate immunity. So it's a great counter to the current meta. Coming back to the aim problem, remember that Arcane Wind is great at repositioning enemies. So aiming the laser automatically at the center of the wind will be very effective in most cases. You just have to learn to use the skills in the right sequence. Coming back to the essence, it is worth improving the laser range along with the head essence and shoulder essence with shield after using Ray of Frost. The value of this shield is not great, but it has an immune to pushback effect. So this often helps to avoid the opponent's control. However, if you are not convinced, you can choose anything else. There are a lot of defensive and offensive options. It's worth playing with different ones. With all that being said, proper skill sequence is crucial here. So in a perfect world, you should stick to this order. If you are not able to hit someone with laser, then start with arcane wind and meteorite and same time. It gonna freeze opponent, so you will be able to do some damage with magic missiles. Then you apply another CC with Ray of Frost, and after some short time another one. At the end you only have arcane wind and primary attack, but at this point opponent should be defeated. Teleport is escaper. It is worth mentioning here that Ray of Frost works perfectly with Ice Crystal. So if there is a wizard in your team who uses it, you should definitely stick close to him. This way you are able to control a large area very effectively. But if you're willing to sacrifice a bit of damage, an alternative is to include a crystal in this build. And since regular ice crystal also chills opponents, we can easily use it instead of a meteorite. With the leg's essence we gain reduced cooldown. This solution works extremely well against heavily dashing opponents. Unfortunately, the game has a lot of bugs. Even though we have good laser aim, a hit is not always counted. That's why I strongly recommend testing to solutions. When reflected from an ice crystal, the Ray of Frost freezes everyone around it. When it comes to legendary gems, I use my standard setup. Nothing extraordinary. I would say that the chip of the stone flesh is quite strongly recommended here, and I base the gems on 2-star ones for awakenings. When it comes to green set items, then for pieces of Baron is must-have, since it provides bonus damage to your party members as well. The remaining for parts are a preferential choice: Flagellant, Banquet, Mountebank. Everything fits well here. The bonus from the Paragon largely depends whether you have Survivor or not. If you have, then you can use Warden for increased defense or Ranger for increased damage. If not, then Gladiator will be a solid choice for you. With all that being said, I think many of you will find this build extremely satisfying to play, but also a little bit demanding. But I hope that video helped and you enjoyed it. So don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to stay updated with new episodes. As always, thanks for watching.